Tonight on Nebraska Nightly, a smash and grab at a local jewelry store has LPD asking for your help.
Plus, looking for a little evening fun tonight? Well, a drive-through Christmas light show might be right up your alley.
And an interview with the Heartland Experience Lab here on campus. This is Nebraska Nightly.
Live from the Don and Lorena Meyer studio at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln College of Journalism and Mass Communications, this is Nebraska Nightly.
An emotional plea from people who would be affected most by budget cuts.
The Nebraska Board of Regents met this morning to discuss the ongoing debate of budget cuts throughout the 4 University of Nebraska campuses. This is our top story today. I'm Peyton Polat.
And I'm Elena Tomish. The University of Nebraska system is facing a $58 million budget shortfall. At the same time, the Board of Regents unanimously approved a $450 million renovation of Memorial Stadium in October. This has faculty, staff, and students wondering about priorities.
However, the largest category of cuts that have been shown to us are titled instructional efficiency and include reducing courses and frequency of course offerings and reducing electives. In my department, we have already reduced electives to the point that in some programs there are no electives, which means our students do not have access to the widest array of courses in our discipline.
Sarah Zuckerman is an associate professor of education and administration at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. She's a member of the UNL-AAUP chapter and serves on the Faculty Senate Executive Committee.
I'm not sure if winter has set in here in the capital city. Meteorologist Dominic Ferraro is here with more. Dominic?
Thank you, Peyton. Well, I can't believe that it's December, and when December rolls around, we have to start talking winter. So here is your winter outlook. This runs through the end of February, and as you can see, mild temperatures across most of the northern parts of the state. We'll see near normal across the southern plains, and then looking at Nebraska, we'll just barely in that above average temperature range. However, one important thing to note with this, just because it is above average temperature doesn't mean those average temperatures aren't already cold itself. So don't bust out the beach towels just yet, but maybe a little milder this winter. Looking ahead to the precipitation side of things, we have a slightly above average chance of seeing some precipitation throughout the winter months. The southeastern part of the state's looking at a very wet winter. And then for Nebraska, it all depends on how those temperatures shake out and whether or not we'll be seeing rain or snow. However, we got a nice week ahead of us, and we'll have that and your current conditions after the break. Back to you.
Thank you, Dominic. Warren Buffett's right-hand man, Berkshire Vice Chairman Charlie Munger, has passed away at the age of 99. Munger's family announced he died peacefully on Tuesday morning at a California hospital. He would have turned 100 years old on January 1st. Munger was born and raised in Omaha and left for college at the age of 17. He returned in 1959 and met Buffett at a dinner. They hit it off and grew the Berkshire Hathaway empire. Despite living a half-continent away from each other, they still stayed in contact. Munger's family will handle his final affairs per Charlie's instructions.
Well, Crime Stoppers is asking for your help in a recent smash and grab robbery at a Lincoln jewelry store, and it was all caught on camera. As can be seen in the video, a man starts smashing jewelry cases with a hammer at Zales located in Gateway Mall. An employee is pushed to the ground when confronting the robber, who later tells the worker other people would be coming to the store armed with guns. The robber quickly grabs thousands of dollars worth of jewelry before running from the store. This is one of 2 thefts Crime Stoppers is investigating from October. If you know anything about this case or the identity of the man in the video, you can send your anonymous tips online or call 402-475-3600.
Have you been cruising around the capital city and noticed the huge Christmas lights? Well, that is the Nebraska Christmas Light Show. Nebraska Nightly's Priscilla Casnetta was there to join in on all the holiday cheer.
The Christmas Light Show is back in the big city. It is a family-run business, and it's their 3rd year running this light show.
What happened when I came to America years ago, I always hear that thing, people saying around, well, there's nothing to do in Lincoln. And it's kind of, it was my inspiration because I run another business and this opportunity arrived and I thought, well, I want to bring this to Lincoln. The drive-through Christmas light show.
They have their own radio station for every visitor to listen at the light show. the numerous of lights synchronizes to the music.
All the props, which is custom made, and you cannot buy them in the box store. So we put them all together here in Lincoln, in our shop.
The light show will continue to January 3rd. Don't miss out on this event. I'm Priscilla Castaneda, Nebraska Nightly.
If you are interested, the light show starts at 5:30 today and goes till 11 p.m. at Star City Shores. The event is until January 3rd.
Our newscast, Nebraska Nightly, is a part of the Student Experience Lab here at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. There are several components to the Experience Lab, and for several shows this semester, we have been featuring them.
Today, we have the Heartland Pulse, which is a lifestyle brand where students work to produce digital content that showcases how young adults live, work, and play in Nebraska. Mackenzie Noble is here with more. Mackenzie?
Thank you, Peyton. Well, today I'm joined by Abby Lane Clokey. And she is the student lead here at the Heartland Pulse. So please, Abby, tell us a little bit about what you do at Heartland.
Yeah, so we're a lifestyle brand, completely student run, and we produce multimedia stories that showcase different brands, organizations, and people within Nebraska, and just showcase how people in Nebraska live, work, and play.
I love it. Okay, well, tell me how the Experience Lab here has impacted you and benefited kind of what you want to do with your career.
So it's really helped me learn to become a better storyteller, both just by having to talk to real life people and learn their stories, but also by choosing what kind of media is the best to produce that, and how to effectively tell different people and organizations' stories.
I love it. Well, what is one of the most memorable and important stories that you've ever kind of put together?
For me, my favorite story was a story about the Union Art Co-op in Omaha. We did a specific story about Reggie LaFleur, and he is the artist who does the different murals in Omaha, and it was really cool getting to talk to him about his story and how he represents Black lives in Omaha.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Abby Lane, back to you two at the desk.
Thank you, Mackenzie. Tune in Tuesday at 4:30 to hear from Bowie, an ad agency for nonprofits. Coming up after the break. The Christmas spirit isn't leaving quite yet, because the national Christmas tree was lit up just last night.
Plus, an update on the Israel and Hamas war. And the EPA is looking to make a major change within the next 10 years, all after the break.
Blood never stops, and at the Nebraska Community Blood Bank, your blood could help save lives. Right now, only 7% of the population donates blood, but imagine if there were more.
We're sitting at below a 7-day level of supply of all blood types across the board. So every blood type is important, and we need all donors of all types to come in and donate right now.
At the Nebraska Community Blood Bank, they believe that all types make a strong blood supply.
Welcome back. Well, we saw what winter looked like just last week, but it didn't stick around for long. Meteorologist Dominic Ferraro is here to look at your 7-day forecast. Dominic?
Thank you, Elena. Still a little chilly here in the capital city. Currently partly cloudy skies, 40 degrees currently for your temperature. Winds will be out of the north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Looking ahead to tonight, if you're making your way out to the volleyball game, mostly cloudy skies, low of 19. So if you're making your way out, grab a coat. It's going to be a little chilly. Wind, however, should not be a problem. We might see a light breeze or two, but nothing more than that. Starting your weekend off on Saturday, cloudy skies. We'll see a chance of rain or snow early and a high of 38 degrees. Winds will switch to be out of the south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Your current surface analysis. So this high pressure here has kept us pretty quiet for most of the week. And then as we start to progress into early tonight and into early tomorrow, you see a low pressure system working its way across the southern part of the plains. We start to see a snow chance for the central part of the state, and into noon tomorrow, we've got snow for most of the central and southeastern parts of the state. I have a little bit of wintry mix right over the capital city area, so it'll be more of a game time decision there on whether or not we'll be seeing rain or snow. So that could impact your morning travel plans to start your weekend off. Looking ahead at the rest of your week, we'll see mostly sunny skies on Sunday, 46 for your high. Monday, we're up into the lower 50s before coming back into the upper 40s on Tuesday. And looking ahead to the rest of your week, will be 53 on Wednesday, 62 for your high temperature on Thursday, and we'll end the week at partly cloudy skies and a relatively warm 59 degrees. Back to you at the desk.
So thank you, Dominic. Well, it's the most severe form of punishment the House of Representatives can hand down to a member, expulsion. And today, some Republican lawmakers, along with almost all of their Democratic colleagues, voted to remove one of their own from their ranks.
Former GOP Representative George Santos of New York is now only the 6th member in American history to be stripped of his congressional title. And it's the first time it's happened in modern history, without the ousted member having been formally convicted of a crime. Laura Aguirre has more on Friday's controversial House dividing vote.
And with that, George Santos's term as a Republican representing New York's 3rd District is over. Expelled from the House Friday by more than 2/3 majority of his fellow members, becoming only the 6th member in American history to lose a seat this way. After his expulsion, Santos told CNN that the House vote sets a dangerous precedent, adding, "Why would I want to stay here? To hell with this place." Minutes later, he left Capitol Hill in a waiting Jaguar.
It's a sad day to remove members because basically he defrauded the voters of his district. His life was made up. It was a lie.
Representative David Joyce of Ohio chaired the investigative subcommittee that put together the comprehensive and scathing ethics probe against Santos, accusing him of breaking several federal laws and using lies to win his House seat, along with financial misdeeds, like spending his campaign funds on personal items, like spa visits, Botox injections, and an OnlyFans account.
It's wrong what he was accused of doing, but he was accused. He hasn't even had his day in court.
More than 2/3 of the members of Congress and a substantial number of Republicans saw fit to vote in favor of expulsion despite recommendations to the contrary from their leadership. That, to me, is a sign of integrity returning to the United States Congress.
So what does this No word from House Speaker Mike Johnson after the vote, but New York's governor already posting on X, formerly Twitter, that she's ready to begin the process of filling Santos's empty seat. I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Despite being expelled, Santos will retain certain privileges as a former member of Congress since he was not formally convicted of a felony. House rules stipulate that until there is a conviction, Santos can still have access to the House floor, the dining room, the gym, and the cloakroom, but not security. However, it's possible that the House could make a rule change to strip away those few perks going forward as well.
2 Democrats were among those who voted no to expelling Santos. They were Bobby Scott of Virginia and Nikema Williams of Georgia. 2 others simply voted present, Jonathan Jackson of Illinois and Al Green of Texas. With Thanksgiving behind us, the traditions of Christmas are going strong. Among them, President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden took part in the national Christmas tree lighting at the White House Thursday night. Here's the countdown.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, you got it.
Merry Christmas,
Merry Christmas, everybody. Jill and I are honored to welcome you. Over here.
This is the 101st annual lighting of the National Christmas Tree, and a tradition that goes back to 1923 when Calvin Coolidge was president. There was a minor setback earlier this week when heavy winds knocked over the 40-foot Norway spruce on Tuesday. But the National Park Service had it up back by that night.
Well, the pause of military action in the Mideast has come to an end. The deadline for another extension expired at midnight Eastern Time, and rocket sirens were heard in the Sidra area during the final hours of the truce, and Israeli strikes have resumed across Gaza. For the past 7 days, Israeli and Palestinian hostages were released and much-needed supplies were delivered to the war-torn Gaza region. But now Israel and Hamas are back at war. The Israeli military issued a statement Friday saying it has resumed combat operations against Hamas, claiming the militant group violated its agreement and fired a rocket towards Israel. More than 14,000 Palestinians have been killed in the war, and U.S. officials, including Secretary of State Antony Blinken, are stressing that Israel has to better its efforts to protect Gaza civilians during its attacks. The Hamas-controlled government media office issued a statement that blames the U.S. and the international community for the end of the ceasefire.
The Environmental Protection Agency is proposing a rule that would require water systems to replace millions of lead pipes within 10 years. That includes all lines regardless of lead levels in tap or other drinking water samples. This change ramps up the Biden administration's efforts to remove 100% of lead pipes across the U.S. That's a massive task, estimated to cost $45 billion. Lead exposure is linked to significant health and developmental problems, especially for children. Experts agree that no amount of exposure is safe. While new lead pipes have been banned in the U.S. since the 80s, the EPA estimates there are still more than 9 million lead service lines in the U.S.
Well, coming up after the break, Nebraska volleyball comes away with a major awards haul.
And an update of the future of the defensive coordinator, Tony White.
And women's basketball attempts to get back on track. Stay with us.
Okay, so how about this much?
I don't know.
Well, how about this much?
I don't know.
How about...
Actually, I don't know.
Okay, maybe this much?
I don't know.
The very tip of your pencil, a fraction of a raindrop, 3 grains of salt. That's how much it takes for a dose of fentanyl to become lethal. Learn more at realdealonfentanyl.com.
Welcome back. Nebraska volleyball begins their postseason run tonight at home, and they'll do so with some new honors under their belt. Nathan Hawkins has more. Nathan?
Thanks, Elena. Nebraska volleyball is looking to continue their dominance to the postseason as they prepare for their opening match of the NCAA tournament tonight. But yesterday, they extended their dominance to the awards circuit. Of the 5 major individual conference awards, Nebraska won 4 of them. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Lexi Rodriguez. She also won that award in 2021. Harper Murray is the Big Ten Freshman of the Year. Another freshman, Bergen Riley, is the Big Ten Setter of the Year. She's the first ever freshman to win that award. And the captain of the ship, John Cook, is Big Ten Coach of the Year. This is his 8th Conference Coach of the Year award. 4 Huskers also named to the Big Ten first team. Lexi Rodriguez, Harper Murray, Bergen Riley, and Barrett Beeson all honored with the recognition. And Becca Alec and Andy Jackson were named second all Big Ten. Let's do the math here. 6 players are on the volleyball court at each time and 6 all Big Ten honorees for the Huskers. What a haul. Coach Cook spoke about what these awards mean for the Huskers.
The fact that this is over 10 weeks, and our players that received recognition proved it over 10 weeks playing against a lot of different teams. And I think that's one of the greatest compliments you can get.
We're just so thankful that we get to be a part of such a great team that wins together, loses together, and these awards are for every single person on the team.
Now Nebraska turns their attention to some different hardware, a national championship trophy. Their run to glory begins tonight with a first-round matchup against Long Island. First serve is set for 7 p.m. and if they win, they'll be back at action at the Bob Devaney Center again tomorrow night against the winner of Missouri and Delaware. After Nebraska's loss to Iowa last Friday ended their hopes of a bowl game, the Huskers are now in the offseason. Coach Rule said he's already on year 2 in his mind, and the next few days for him involve meeting with each of the players, hitting the road for recruiting, and preparing for the transfer portal opening on Monday. But the Huskers coming up just short of postseason play is still lingering on his mind.
Could not tell you how disappointed I am that we're not in a bowl game. Could not tell you how soul-rockingly disappointed I am for our guys. I'm not making any predictions about next year. I'm just saying we will be a considerably better football team next year than we are this year.
Well, good news for Husker fans. The defense will be led by the same man, defensive coordinator Tony White. He agreed today to a restructured contract that will bump his salary from $1 million to $1.6 million. White was linked to a few head coaching jobs around the country as well as a defensive coordinator job at USC, but he will stay with the Black Shirts for another year. Let's get to some highlights. A quieter week than most for Husker athletics, but women's basketball was in action on Wednesday night against Florida Atlantic. To the first quarter, Potts to Moriarty to Logan Nisley for the three. Huskers lead by 9 after 1. Second quarter, the Owls not going away yet. Rosenthal from distance finds the connection. FAU within striking distance at the half. Third quarter now, Darian White drives it, kicks it out to Jazz Shelley, who drains the three. There's a theme here. Alexis Markowski will now get in on the action from long range. And when it rains, it pours. Huskers make 10 three-pointers and pull away in the second half to win it, 77-53.
We like wins. We like wins at home, and I thought we saw some really nice things. A couple of players with doubles tonight, and a couple stretches where we were a little sloppy, and we still have another level on both sides of the ball. But this was a good
returns
team
to action tomorrow night to take on the 5-2 Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Tip-off is at Pinnacle Bank Arena at 2. And then the next day, without exaggeration, one of the most highly anticipated Husker basketball games in a long time. The Creighton Blue Jays are coming to town, and Creighton is the 15th ranked team in the country, falling from the top 10 after losing last week. But the Huskers still undefeated at 7-0. With the win, they'd have their best start since the 1977-78 season. The Huskers pulled off a big upset at the CHI Health Center in Omaha last year, but Creighton still holds a slim lead in the all-time series, 29-27, and the Vault is on lock on Sunday. Pinnacle Bank Arena is sold out. The game tips off at 3 p.m., but fans will want to get there much sooner. Expect excitement, tension, and some high-quality basketball. A massive honor for soccer star Eleanor Dale. Earlier today, she was named a first-team All-American. The senior from England led the nation with 28 goals this year, which also broke the single-season scoring record for the Huskers. Dale led the Huskers on a postseason run to the Elite Eight for the first time since 1999. She's just the 4th player in school history to be named a first-team honoree.
Incredible. How exciting for just the whole soccer program as a whole.
Yeah, it was really a special run that they went on, and Dale, quite the story. Her season kind of came out of nowhere. She had 9 goals last season, definitely a high-quality player. But this year she just took off, 28 goals. Now she'll go down as one of the best players in Nebraska's soccer history. It's awesome to see.
That's really neat to see that. We have that here in Nebraska.
So great. Awesome. Well, thanks, Nathan. Coming up after the break, a look into all the holiday festivities happening in the capital city.
Plus, you don't want to miss out on all the things happening right here at UNL.
And Travis Kelce has a hit song. Stick around. It's all after the break.
2, 1.
This is Nebraska Nightly.
If you're a student at UNL and have ever been interested in reporting or video production, Nebraska Nightly is your place.
Big Bob!
Here you can build creative skills no matter how much experience you have.
Our equipment is very, very high level here, and it's something that a lot of times a lot of people wouldn't get to access until they're kind of in a professional workspace.
Talk to a UNL advisor about joining Nebraska Nightly.
Of the 40 million tons of plastic waste generated in the U.S. in 2021, only 5%, or 2 million tons, was recycled. Make sure you do your part in keeping Anderson Hall clean. For more information on recycling statistics, visit epa.gov today.
Welcome back. As the semester is coming to an end, there are still so many things happening in Lincoln that you might want to check out. Finley Stroh is here with the latest. Finley?
The Nebraska State Fair plans to announce their lineup for next summer's Lottery Concert Series. Those who purchase early tickets within the first 2 weeks will receive a bonus of either a premium reserved seat for indoor shows or a price discount on the concert tickets in the outdoor festival-style shows. Stay tuned for the first 2 show announcements on December 5th. As we are entering the last couple weeks of the semester, many are already getting into the holiday spirit. And don't worry, it's not a regular showdown, it's the holiday show-ho-ho-down. Come to the Nebraska Union's Regency Room tonight starting at 7 p.m. to compete through rounds of decorating holiday ornaments, cookies, and gingerbread houses. Winners can choose from a variety of Nebraska merchandise as UNL's very own holiday gift to you. Having a rough day? Bring your pets, friends, and family to Lincoln's Holiday Run, dedicated to Lincoln's animals, this Sunday at 10 a.m. Choose to run a 5K or run a 1-mile run at Pioneer Park. Go to lincoln.org for registration. Christmas is always a cause for celebration. Bring your friends and family to the Christmas market presented by Save Lincoln Local. It will be downtown at the Talon Room on Sunday, December 3rd from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Shop and support local businesses for unique handcrafted goods and great snacks. It will be a community gathering.
Great, thank you, Finley. Well, Nebraska Nightly is being given the opportunity to collaborate with UNL Communications and 1011 News. I had the opportunity to work on our new segment called This Week at UNL. Huskers pound the pavement to raise awareness of veteran suicide. The UNL Student Veterans of America chapter joins the annual Ruck March. This year's trek began at Freedom Rock in Menlo, Iowa, and ended about 150 miles later in Lincoln's Memorial Stadium. Student veterans, volunteers, and local veterans along the way deliver a game football to the Huskers-Hawkeyes matchup. As they walk, each volunteer carries a backpack filled with 20 pounds or 20 items. It's a somber reminder of a Veterans Administration report that every day 20 American veterans take their own lives. A statewide survey shows a lack of childcare options in rural Nebraska. The Nebraska Rural Poll is the largest annual survey of rural Nebraskans' perceptions about policy and quality of life. 61% of respondents said that there is a shortage of affordable childcare in their community. 59% agreed that their community needs more before and after school options, and more than 81% feel that childcare is important to their community's growth. UNL's Department of Agriculture Economics conducted the poll. 1,100 households in 86 of the state's 93 counties responded to the poll. To see the full report, visit ruralpoll.unl.edu. An Omaha-based band delights audiences across the state. Mariachi Zapata toured Fremont, Grand Island, Nebraska City, and Kearney as part of the Lead Center's Arts Across America education program. Each tour stop includes a public performance, school matinees, and educational outreach.
Arts are for everyone, and arts education is for everyone, regardless of your geography, your income. You know, the Lead Center is the home of the performing arts in Nebraska, and for us that means the entire state. So part of our mission is to make sure that we are taking those experiences that we create here at the Lead Center and sharing them with our whole state.
This is the Lead Center's 26th season of Arts Across Nebraska. That's what's happening this week at UNL. I'm Elena Tomish.
Wow, what a neat opportunity that you got to witness.
It's so great. I just really appreciate UNL.com and 1011 News. Well, let's have one last look at weather with meteorologist Dominic Ferraro. Dominic.
Thank you, Elena. Looking ahead to the start of your weekend, we're starting out cold, high temperature of 38 on Saturday. We'll see cloudy skies with a chance of rain or snow in the morning. And then sun comes back out on Sunday, 46 degrees for your high. And then at the start of your week, we're up to 51 degrees and mostly sunny. So just right when we thought we were seeing the start of winter, we're right back to those clear skies and 50 degrees. And the rest of this week looks beautiful. And I'm kind of thrown through a loop.
It's always sunny in Lincoln, Nebraska. I feel like that's my favorite thing about this city. So I'm excited for some sun.
I need some cold. It's December now. Like, come on. I'm all for the warm weather, the nice temps. I can still be outside, but it's December. This is getting out of hand. What's going on?
You know, I'm sure here soon we'll be talking about like a foot of snow on the ground. It's Nebraska. Sure. The weather changes like that.
Very true. Well, thank you for joining us. Nebraska Nightly is a student production of the University of Nebraska's College of Journalism and Mass Communications.
We will see you on Tuesday at 4:30 for the final show of the semester. Have a great evening.